This, and this are all milkweed, good for butterflies. This is a lily.
For Mila Jacob, an Anishinaabe teen in Thunder Bay, these flowers are a way to honor those lost to residential schools.
Like, it looks very natural, like you would see this, in the bush.
The idea for planting this garden came after the discovery of graves in Kamloops.
But then I realized that it was something that you can't ignore because it's like it just happened and like to real people.
Yeah, as long as you don't break the roots.
Mila first learned about residential schools through her grandmother Laura, a survivor, and found strength in her convictions.
Something that really helped me and like helped me speak up is just like the phrase, speak your truth even if your voice shakes. And I think that's something that's, can help other people.
What about milkweed?
Mila found her voice with this project, but she sees the legacy of residential schools on youth. So an apology from the Pope brings hesitancy.
Do you think that his visit will help?
No, I don't.
How come?
An apology won't fix anything now. It won't bring back our culture or our language. Like, it's just words to me.
Instead, Mila finds resilience in family.
Now it's my job to educate using my language, to hear their own history, including what happened here on these grounds.
Mila's gardens show the strength youth in Thunder Bay have and need to have.
Like putting these orange flower memorial projects all around the city. Like, I want it to be all around Thunder Bay.
This is where Thunder Bay's residential school used to be, and now it's a memorial. The tragedy of displacement still continues here though. With addiction, no trust in police, these still remain problems for Indigenous youth.
Running through Thunder Bay is the McIntyre River. Just one of the rivers Indigenous youth have been pulled from. Some ruled accidents, many suspected of worse.
I can't go by the mall without thinking of that boy who was found in the river.
Bethany Kustachin works with youth in Thunder Bay. She was also in foster care for a decade.
There's so many factors that come into play for the youth crisis in Thunder Bay, and residential schools is definitely like a huge one of them.
Some Thunder Bay youth still face the isolation and pain that comes from being separated from family and community, a system some youth feel is designed to keep them down.
I think of the students who have to fly in from their communities to further their education.
Exactly. It's kind of the same because these Indigenous youth still have to leave their home communities and their families just to come to a racist city where they are placed under like white boarding homes. There's this great disconnection between them, their culture, their identity, and their ancestors.
With such pain and intergenerational trauma, Bethany wanted a more specific apology.
For the Pope to not acknowledge that this is genocide, like at least be more specific about what you put us through, or what the church put us through.
Do you think that this visit and this apology can help the youth move things forward?
I hope it can. I don't know what an apology is supposed to do for our youth up in their communities, because realistically, this isn't gonna get them out of whatever rut they're in. I don't know, it might just like give them some answers as to what happened. I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I just find myself at somewhat of a loss for words.
In the Ojibwe language, it's called Inini Buju, which was changed from the English translation, Nana Buju, who is the Ojibwe trickster.
Esther Daibo and her son Dawa say healing starts with acknowledging the pain the schools have caused.
Well, when I ask students, what do you know about residential schools? And right away they pipe in, oh, it pays you money. It's all about money for them because that's what they learn.
We have to keep moving. I think if we're hinging on him and his words, we're stuck in that past mentality where it's about what they did to us.
Esther is a Catholic, but practices many of her Anishinaabe beliefs, teaching youth to be proud of who they are.
We used to use roots, right?
Today, she is teaching Jawa how to make a traditional swing. It needs to be sturdy, needs to cradle, support, and be balanced, much like both beliefs that Esther practices.
Up there, you see that one that's knotted? And for me, to be a Catholic person and to blend the traditional way of life, our sweat lodges, our ceremonies, it works for me. It works for me both ways. I don't weigh the other one less than the other. I take both of them and I work in that healing. And then the baby would swing like this.
So you use the Catholic faith and you use traditional Anishinaabe ways
Yes.
to heal.
Yes, yes, very much so.
And then the big fish are eaten by bigger fish. It goes around like that.
While the Pope's apology may be symbolic, Dawa has hope for what the future could hold.
The church may never be forgiven, but I believe the church can redeem itself. If he's going to call upon the Catholic Church of Canada, there could be like a powwow in each region hosted by the church as like a gesture that now we're not destroying your culture, we're willing to host your culture and give you a venue. That, I think, would be a strong symbolic statement.
A visit won't change what residential schools have done, but help for the future of these youth can make a difference. It's something they will be looking for. Jasmine Cabate, CBC News, Thunder Bay.